name is Fátima and I'm talking to you from Newfoundland, Canada. It's September 3rd, no, 4th. Yesterday was my sister's birthday. And I haven't been knitting a lot, but I have been spinning a lot lately. We also did something cool. We went to Bell Island last week. We went with the camper. We are trying to test it for longer trips, but it's not completely done yet. We still need water in the system, but it has heating and stuff. And the cool thing is that the island has a lot of mines because it used to be a miner island. And we normally, when we go to the sites, one of us stay in the car with the dogs and the other goes, then we exchange. This time, because we had the camper van and we put a heating cooling system in the camper van, we were able to leave the dogs there, and they had water and the temperature was stable, so we were sure they were not getting a bad space temperature wise. And it was not that hot, but it's still, to be in the car with the sun, it's something that we would not let them. So having the camper with us allowed us to leave the dogs in the camper and go together to the mine, and it was a very nice experience. So Mihai is going to put some images of the island. It's really worth visiting. Newfoundland is really worth visiting. It's a beautiful place. And if you are coming to Newfoundland, my advice is always bring something warm, because we went there and we thought, oh, it's summer, it's hot. And when we went into the mine, we borrowed some sweaters and stuff to go there because it was 6 degrees. And even outside, if you have the wind, it really gets chilly sometimes at night. So it's always good, even if it's summer, to bring something on. But it's totally worth coming here. The other thing I did is I travel because of work to Georgia, Atlanta, Georgia, in the US. And during the flight, I was able to finish one foot and start the other. And then it's because it took me a long time to get there. And I finished the socks. The socks are a little bit large. I used the opal yarn. I'm going to wash them to see if they shrink a little bit. And I think I will change, undo the finishing here and do it again, because it got too large. But I will wash it first before I take a decision on that. The other finished project that I have is what I'm wearing. It's top capri from Edith Lassie. She's a Brazilian designer. I'll put a link here on the bottom. And this sweater it's nice. I like it. It's a little bit tight, but it's cotton. I haven't washed it yet, so I think it's going to grow a little, and I'm perfectly happy with that. So one point that I thought was interesting is that she has short rows on the top of the blouse. It's a top-down blouse. And then in the bottom, she added some short rows for the back. And it's the first time I see that, but I did it, and it seems pretty cool. So, but I wanted to point it out that I thought it was different. And she said it's to accommodate your body. So I really did it, and I like it. I'm not into summer knits, but when I saw the capri t-shirt, I really fell in love with it. And as soon as the pattern came out, I bought it. And then it took me almost 2 years to knit it. And one of the reasons is that because I got so excited, I didn't see the gauge, and I didn't have any yarn for the gauge. So when I saw the gauge, I went to the store and I bought this Ultra Prima from Cascade Yarns that had the gauge that was required to to the sweater that was, I think the gauge was 24 stitches, and this is 22 to 24. But I didn't do a sample. And I really don't like to make samples. And one of the reasons is because I do a sample, a little one, and then when I'm knitting, the knitting is totally different. So, but anyway, I didn't do a sample. And what happened is that I'm knitting it. And that's the good thing about doing it top down, because I'm knitting it and I think it's too large. So I end up changing the size and changing, and in the end I got no increased stitches and everything, just because I didn't get the gauge. But the final product is nice, and it is not the coolest yarn, but it's perfect for this kind of weather here. That is the end of the summer. It's comfortable. I don't know what the temperature is today, but it's comfortable. But I do love the pattern. The other thing, it's a very easy pattern, but for some reason, I kept making mistakes. And I think it's because it was such an easy pattern that I would get into it, and I was doing it while I was on the road. And then I would get distracted and I would do something wrong, and I had to undo and do it many times. But it's finished. I'm glad I did it, and I wonder if I would do it again, but maybe with wool, because I really like it. Okay, so these are the two finished objects, and then I have a almost finished object. This is the fake cow by Emma. Emma has a podcast. I'll put links on everything here. And what she did, this is a free pattern in Ravelry, on Ravelry. And what she did is, I think on a one Shetland book, there was a pattern there, and she mentions it in her pattern. And she changed the pattern, but took the same stitches, numbers and stuff, and did this cow, and she has it for free. So first thing, Emma has a podcast. I'm going to put a link to the podcast. Have to write it down. And the other thing is, I was watching the Knitting Stew. That is a stewardess in Canada. She has a podcast called The Knitting Stew. And she had 10,000 subscribers, and she was doing a giveaway. But in the giveaway, you had to say what pattern you wanted to do this year in 2023. And I thought of this because I have this pattern now, I think for 2 years, and I'm always postponing it. And I said, you know what? I want to make it now. So Leanne has inspired me to get this pattern and get it on. So the thing with this pattern is it's a cow, of course, but it's a double cow, and it's because it is color work. It's going to be very warm, and I'm very happy because here the wind is very strong, so I need something warm. This is a leftover yarn that I had from my Stephen West Mystery Cow last year. So I had this complete skein, and I had two more skeins, 2 little bits of yellow and blue. I had more blue than yellow, but this is what I have left over from this yarn. So I wanted to say some things about this yarn. This yarn is the Yorkshire Spinners is Exquisite. So West Yorkshire Spinners and Exquisite. And the thing about it is that when I'm knitting, occasionally, it's not common, but occasionally I find some pills on the yarn. And that made me think that if I find some pills on the yarn, the final product will have pills. But I got it, so I used it for the shawl. And when I used it for the shawl, it is soft, it was okay. But now for the cowl, it is amazingly soft. It is, let me see what it is. It's 80% wool, 20% silk. And it's just an amazing yarn. Amazing. It feels so nice. And I'm so glad I did it. I bought it and I finished this. So I've been using my shawl quite a lot. I don't see pills. Well, not now, but in the spring, and because here it's cooler longer. Not so cool as Ontario, but cooler longer. And I did this. What I thought was cool, and one of the things that made me want to knit this pattern, is that you do the first part, that is this part, with a 3.5 millimeters needle, and then you use 3.25 millimeter needles for the other part, because this will help this part to be inside. And now what I have to do is pick up the provisional stitches and graft all in the round. I made some mistakes in this part, and mainly because I was knitting in the car and it was easy. One of them I caught it on time and I fixed, but the others was a little bit too late. This pattern here, from the front, you have to be pay more attention to the graph. But here the inside part is okay. And what I like about this is that it's snug to the neck, and that's what I need here because of the wind, and because it's color work on both sides. It's like 4 layers of yarn, so that's pretty cool. I love it. I really love it. My daughter said she liked the pattern, but I think she didn't like the colors. I love the colors. I think the yellow here was just perfect for this blue, better than in my shawl. It's the same combination, but I like the combination here better. So this is my second project that is almost finished. And I'll put a link for both Emma's podcast and also Leanne, the Knitting Stew. And I'll put a link to the pattern. Okay, so since I started with the knitting, I'm gonna go to works in projects, in progress. So I stopped working on this because it was too hot, and this is very warm. So this is alpaca, and alpaca that my friend Michelle gave me, and this is, I know this is synthetic, but still, this is Diamond Select, made in Turkey, and it is 8% premium acrylic, 10% wool, and 10% alpaca. So I normally don't like to work with acrylic, but because I'm working one acrylic and one alpaca, 100% alpaca, it doesn't feel that bad. And what I liked about the acrylic yarn is the colors. So this is the Starburst from Stephen West. I think he's ingenious on his patterns. I really liked it, but I stopped in the middle so you can't really see how cool this is. So I still have, I'm on the last increase row, but I will, this is a nice knitting for the car because I'm doing one color only. He was doing, changing the yarn and stuff. I wanted something easy. So it's a nice knitting TV when you don't want to think, or also when you are driving. So this is a good one. Then I got into a phase that I wanted to start a lot of projects. And I've been looking at my magazines, my interweave needs, and this is the fall 2019. And I found a few patterns that I would like to knit here. And so I started a hat. I think I'm not very into knitting hats because I started this, and then I used to love braids. Somehow now I don't like them very much. But I had some hand spun yarn that I thought I would start. And I did start. It's okay. It's just I need to go on with this. Should be something that you finish in 3 hours, and I didn't. So this is a work in progress, and I would like to do. From this magazine, there is this other hat that I thought was a cool one. I don't know if you can see. And something that I wanted to do is this cowl that looks pretty much like Stephen West honey things that he does. It's just that I didn't quite understand the graphic, but I thought the cowl was very, very beautiful. So I got some leftover yarn from other projects, and this is something that I would like to do because I think it's very pretty. And because of the wind, it's really good to do cowls here and stuff. So I'm gonna show this, but I didn't touch this in years. I think I started this maybe 4 years ago, and every time I look at it, I say I'm gonna undo it. I have only one done, but I love it, so I keep it, and it's here. Maybe sometime in the winter I'll finish it because it's pretty. It's so pretty, but it's one of those things. Other projects get in the way. And then my last working project is my primrose. So I had some progress here. I haven't worked on it in a while, but I worked since my last podcast. And I did half of the chart from the body. So I need to do half more before I would get to the point that I have to start the sleeves to join the project. And it's a nice knit. Whenever I start, I keep going. It's just that then I started other projects and I stopped it. And Kim from Fleece and Harmony, they have a cowl now for Mary Wallen. I'm not going to register in because I had already started it before, but I'm going to use the final date of the cowl, that is February, end of February, to see if I have this done, just as a motivation for me to go on. So far, it's pretty. It's very pretty. And I just want to see, because I got the kit for a size, and I know that my stitches are large. I'm hoping I won't have any problem with the yarn that I got, but I'm curious. Oh, and I have another working project. So also by watching Fleece and Harmony, there is this Rowan new knit along that is a blanket from Martin's store, and I started it. So I bought this is Rowan felted tweed, and I bought to make the 2-color one, but the thing with the 2-color is that these 2 colors are too close together, so you don't see the pattern. So I stopped, and then I had already bought another color for another blanket, because my plan is to make one blanket for each sister that I have, and also for my sister-in-law. So I had bought the other one, and then here you can see the difference. Kim is doing a different take on it that I think is interesting. She's doing double knitting. I haven't done double knitting yet, but I thought this was not the pattern to start with double knitting. So, but I like what she's doing. So I did this, and now I have a lot of these 2 colors, because I got enough to make a blanket out of this. I don't know, the final size of the blanket seems to be a little bit small, so I might want to make it a little bit bigger. I don't know yet, but I am working on this. I'm very late. They already have the 3rd square given to us, and a friend of mine, she blocked hers, and it looks really good when you block it, but I have to focus on this. I was focusing on the cow, on the fake cow, and then I do. And then I have here, I don't know, maybe 25 balls or something like that, because I have the 2. And my point was to see what would work so that I could get a different color combination. And I'm thinking this color, you have the dark color, I would need something like this. Oops. Like this green, to make it really go together. So this is another project, and that makes me think about the Stephen West cow. If I will join, but I don't know, because it takes most of your time knitting, and I'm working extra hard at this time, so I don't know. But I do want to finish that. I'm not going to Brazil this year, so I have at least till next year to start working on my things, on my blankets for my sisters. I have 4 sisters, and I'm going to do it for my sister-in-law, Inez, and if I have time, then I'll make one for Angela too. Then spinning wise, I don't know, I haven't knitted so much because I'm spinning a lot, and I was able to finish my blue face laster. So I have now a lot of my blue face laster. I think last time I had 3 skeins, and now I have 6 and a little bit, and this is almost 2 kilos, so it's almost 4 pounds. It's probably 3.5 pounds of spun yarn. And that's the thing with me. I have a tendency to want to spin sweater quantities, so I spin a lot for maybe a project. I don't know yet what I'm going to be doing with this, but I know that I have a lot of dyeing to do before I decide where to use this on. And this is going to be perfect for a stick, so I'm thinking that something that requires sticking is what I should do with this yarn. So it's here in a project bag, just waiting for the project. And I will dye it probably in the winter. Then I start spinning this fiber. And this is This is an old fiber that I got from in my guild in Ontario. Like sometimes somebody is getting rid of the stash, and then I bought. And this is light Copperworth, product of New Zealand. So Copperworth is a long wool breed. And when I thought of this, and normally it's not that soft, this one is not that bad. But being said so, because Copperworth is a long breed, I thought I'm going to spin this for socks. So more a worsted yarn than a woolen. And then I'm noticing, you see, you have some parts that are, the staple is long, but most of it, I think what this is that they're not long at all compared to what it would be. So I think what this is the rest of the, like when they have their combing process to prepare the tops, normally there is a leftover. When I'm preparing stuff in a combed way, there's always a leftover that you can throw out or you can card, and I think this is what this is. So this is the fiber that didn't go through to become a top that would create worsted yarn, but they use the leftovers to create this carded woven. And it's not as pleasurable to spin, but it's pretty soft, I would say, for what it is. And I started this. So I have 3 bobbins, 2 bobbins spun and a little bit more on a third one. And I have 2 full bags of this. This is 1 pound, half a pound, 225 grams each. So I spun a little and I still have a full 225 grams plus what I have here. So it's probably, I still have like 400 grams to, or not 400, maybe 350 grams to spin. But I didn't like it very much, so I stopped it. But I have to continue to move on. And then a good thing is that I stopped it and I decided to get my e-spinner to start spinning. And the first thing I did is I got Corriedale that I have a lot of it, like probably over 30 kilos. And I start spinning, and a lot of things come to my mind where I can use this, but my husband has already asked for a sweater that maybe that's what I will do. I will spin some more, but right here I have 9 bobbins, and I saw that 9 bobbins like this, because this was some fiber that I dyed, that I sewed in some fiber festivals in Ontario, and this is the leftover that I had, and this I know is 100 gram, a little bit more than 100 gram, because I would always put a little bit more than 100 grams in each braid, and it fits here. So this is 9 bobbins, and it's obviously more than 900 grams because I put more in the bobbins than I have there. So this should be enough for a sweater. The other thing is, this was the first skein I did. And when I did it, when I finished it, I thought, because when you are spinning, sometimes it feels like it has a good twist. And then I didn't feel like it had a good twist. It feels too loose. So I took it out of the skein and I passed it through my spinning wheel again, and I thought, okay. And then what I did is, when plying on my spinner, I increased the twist there, but I still can see that this is not as twisted as the rest of the yarn. So I'm going to, and I can see it easily when I have the skeins together. that this is the first one that I did. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pass it through my Aura, that is my thread spinning wheel. I'm going to pass it again through it just to give a little bit more spin, in the hopes that this will be closer to this. Even the color changes a little bit depending on the twist. I don't know if you can notice that, but there is a little bit difference in the color, and that's because of the twist, and that's because the twist affects how the fiber reflects the light. But I have a good amount here, and I know exactly how I got that. And then I was watching Woo and Wishes, and Kelsey has a lot of nice skeins that she makes, and I love her color combinations and everything. And so I went to look in my stash and look for colors, and I had this greens, so that was good because I knew that I was having a little bit more than 100 grams per bobbin. That was a good thing for me to know. And then I thought I want to put some more colors, and I was checking stuff that I had dyed long ago, and I had this blue that I thought of putting together, but I really like this blue, and I found in my stash more of this bluish purple, and then light blue too, that I think will be, let me look at the other way around here, that I think will be a nice combination together. And the thing with this is that I easily have, this was 100 grams. Here in this color I have more than 100 grams. This I have almost 100 grams. So I can mix them together, and that can give me a good amount. I don't know. It's going to be like a tonal color, not a solid one, but a tonal. So this is what I have from spinning. And then what I bought. Again, Woo and Wishes. Kelsey was showing this book, and I fell in love with it because I think it's so cool. Like, I don't know how some of the patterns here are done. The other cool thing is that they have, I thought this was very interesting. So let me get here. I'm not going to show you all the book, but so she has this cardigan here, and I thought to myself when I started looking at the book, does she have the pattern for the cardigan? And what she has is like when you are sewing at the end, she has the directions of how you measure it yourself to get what you need in terms of the pattern. So it's very cool because she has the same cardigan all over with different textures. So I think this is pretty cool. I'll get some more here. I think it's amazing. And I thought that I would start with, oh, I love this. Start with a blanket, just so that I can figure out how the stitches work, how do you get to the things, because I thought it was pretty cool. And when I look at the cardigans, most of them, of the stitches, I feel like I should do a sample with each one with that cardigan because it's really nice. You get stuff like this, like, I think it's very creative, and I would like to learn how to do it because it's pretty cool. What else do I have here? And even some simple textures like this. When you work with one color, I don't know if you'll be able to see. We have a different camera now, or today, and I don't know if it goes too deep, but look at this. So I think this book is exciting. It is bold motifs using color and stitch. And I think it's really, really, really nice. A nice book to have. Not to have, to try it out. It has some funkier stuff. I wouldn't do this, but I think it's funky. It's kind of cool. So, yeah, I really like it. I think I haven't I haven't watched so many podcasts as I normally do, mainly because I'm working long hours. And when I'm free to watch TV, my husband is with me, so he watches a lot of podcasts, but I don't want to force him too much to watch the podcast. So I've been watching other stuff with him. But the ones that I have been watching have been inspiring me to do stuff. The other thing I got in the acquisitions part is I got this stitch marker advent calendar. I thought this was pretty cool. This is Fairy World and Celestial Night Sky. So I got it from Fleece and Harmony. I don't know who else sells it. It is in the people that do it are in British Columbia in Canada. But I thought it was pretty cool. They also have a can, but I didn't buy the can because I'm gonna keep the stitches with my other stitches. I'm debating if I should buy a advent calendar or not. Because you get little bits of yarn, so I feel like having one just because of just to have it. But I don't know if it's a practical thing. So I'm still thinking. I've checked some Volmizer, but the Volmizer this year is not for every day, and I would like to have something each day. And the reason I wanted an advent calendar is because when my children were young, I used to have advent calendars for them, and I would put little, like for Pedro, my older son, I had made a cloth thing with many little pockets, and each pocket had a day, and every year I would put him something there, or I would put something in the pockets, or I would put a thing saying it's worth a gift on the tree. And for Paula too, I did that for a few years, that she would have a gift for each day of the year, of the month until December 25th. So I thought, I think I deserve that. I do. But I'm still debating. Maybe I'll stop debating. We just live once, right? And I've been working so hard. But this I got for me, and it arrived like last month, and I'm not opening it until December, because the thing is to open it every day a little bit. The other thing I bought also from Fleece and Harmony, because they have a store, is to help me block. So this is Knitter's Pride, and this is to help you block the stuff. I have done my Pogona from Stephen West, and I haven't blocked it yet for two reasons. One reason is that I don't have a long table anymore. I love that shawl. It's one of the things that I think I will want to repeat, and I thought that I could repeat that with the advent calendar. But I need to be able to block it. And so I got some blocking tools. I still need to get the bottom part that I want to do, but it comes in a little box and you have different sizes. So I think this is pretty cool. I haven't used it yet. We need to get a bigger table so that I can do. Oh, let me close this first. Or maybe not. But it is Knitter's Pride knit blockers. So this is what I got, and I thought that this was a good thing to buy. Because that's the thing. I bought this because I wanted this, and I said, well, if I'm buying, it's going to come through the post, I better add to my purchase. And then I thought I'm going to buy yarn, but I really don't need yarn. I needed some tools, so I got this. Other than that, I'm very, very grateful to be here in this place. It's so beautiful. Today I was looking through my living room window, and I was thinking, oh my gosh, and this is my bed view. It's where I have the mountains and the road. And, you know, I don't know if the sound of the ocean gets through the filming, but sometimes it's very calm, you don't hear it, and sometimes you hear it well. But I'm blessed. I'm so blessed to be here. It's such a beautiful place. I'm 62 years old, and I feel like this is the best time of my life. Like I am in the best moment of my life. I'm very happy where I am and with who I became. So I hope you have the same feeling, and that you feel grateful for whatever it is that you have. It gives a different meaning for life, and I feel really blessed. Thank you for being here with me. See you soon. Goodbye.